Do you want to know the secret to sleeping well and living a good life? The answer is the fear of the Lord, and we're going to talk about that today from Proverbs chapter 19. Hey guys, and welcome back to God's Word Made Simple by Simple Servant Ministries. My name is Aaron Hawk, and if this is your first time visiting with us today, I just want to say welcome and thank you for joining us today. God's Word Made Simple is an online discipleship ministry dedicated to taking God's Word and making it simple. We want to help you understand God's Word, apply it to your life, and grow in your relationship with the Lord. Also, at some point, if you appreciate this ministry and content, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn that bell notification to all so you don't miss any future videos. We would love to have you as part of our family. Okay guys, so we're going to get into the text today. Proverbs chapter 19, we're going to start in verse 18 and work our way through the end of the chapter. And we'll get to what I talked about in just a couple of verses. So, okay, verse 18. Discipline your son while there is hope, and do not desire his death. Right? And I think there's an element of anger that's typical of men when they discipline, but more than that is saying discipline your son while there is hope and do not desire his death. It's not just talking about the anger part. I think that's sort of related, but what it's saying is discipline while there is hope. In other words, if you are not willing to discipline your child, then you are ultimately leading them to their own death. The same thing as that famous verse everybody loves to misquote, spare the rod and spoil the child. That's not what it says. By the way, I did a video on that. Check that video out right here. And the verse actually says, he who spares his rod hates his child. Well, we're seeing that reinforced here. Discipline your son while there is hope, and do not desire his death. If you are not disciplining your children appropriately, then you are ultimately going to lead them to their own destruction. It is your job as the parent to discipline so that you can change the heart of the child, not the behavior. See, behavior comes because of a heart. If we focus on the behavior, we never get to the heart issue. If we focus on the heart, we get to the behavior. But watch that video. All right, verse 19. A man of great anger will bear the penalty, for if you rescue him, you will only have to do it again. If you've ever known that person that just lets their anger rule them, well, ruin, Freudian slip there. But yeah, we've all known that person that just lets their anger rule them, and they always end up in trouble. They have trouble holding jobs, they have no friends, they maybe even end up in fights and stuff like that all the time, right? If you're trying to come to the rescue of someone who lets their anger rule them, you're just going to have to do it again and again and again and again, and eventually it's going to be directed toward you anyway. And if you're that person that is ruled by anger, you need to understand that people can't ultimately rescue you because you're the one causing the problem. Verse 20, listen to counsel and accept discipline, that you may be wise the rest of your days. See, this is a constant theme in the Proverbs. If you are willing to accept criticism, constructive criticism, whatever, wisdom and counsel and discipline, then you're going to learn from it and grow stronger and stronger. All right, verse 21. Many plans are in a man's heart, but the counsel of the Lord will stand. See, as human beings, we can make all the plans we want, and we should plan. We have personal responsibility to do so. We should have our, 1 year, 5 year, 10-year plan, whatever. But we also need to bear in mind that God's will is ultimately what's going to be done. We can have all the plans we want, but if it's not God's will, it ain't going to happen. So we should plan, but we also need to understand that ultimately God's will is what will prevail. Many plans are in a man's heart, but the counsel of the Lord will stand. All right, verse 22. What is desirable in a man is his kindness, and it is better to be a poor man than a liar. And obviously, we would rather deal with the kind side of a person than the angry side of a person. It is also better to be a poor man than a liar. In other words, walk with your integrity. Treat people in love, treat people well, and have integrity. Verse 23, the fear of the Lord leads to life, so that one may sleep satisfied, untouched by evil. This is the verse that I teased you with in opening this video. Okay, the fear of the Lord. Now remember, the fear of the Lord doesn't mean this trembling, scared, hiding in a corner kind of fear. Now there may be fear, I'm trembling, but it's not that I'm hiding in a corner afraid. It's that I am recognizing who God is and how powerful He is and that He is my ultimate judge, but also that I don't want to disappoint my Heavenly Father. The fear of the Lord leads to life, so that one may sleep satisfied, untouched by evil. See, when you are walking in fellowship with God and you know that God has got your back, you are able to have good, deep sleep, free of worry. You don't wake up in cold sweats. You don't have all the nightmares that torment you. When you're walking in fellowship with God, you are able to have sweet sleep, untouched by evil, not having to worry about tomorrow. Okay? All right, verse 24. The sluggard buries his hand in the dish, but will not even bring it back to his mouth, right? It's this idea of, the person, the sluggard. It's like this picture of a fat king sitting on his throne, digging into the candy, but he's so lazy he won't even bring it back to his own mouth, right? And that's the idea of a sluggard in general. It doesn't have to be that specific analogy. That's just the idea of the sluggard. Strike a scoffer, and the naive may become shrewd. And it's talking about public discipline that was more common back then. Modern day, you strike somebody publicly, you're going to go to jail. There is self-defense, of course, and I absolutely support that. But right now, this is talking about public discipline, which is not something that we really have in America. Strike a scoffer, and the naive may become shrewd. So the old situations where you would have public discipline, like the stocks, the guy with his arms and his head sticking through the thing, right? Well, everybody'd be going, ooh, I don't want that to be me. Maybe I shouldn't do what he did. What'd you do, buddy? Oh, yeah, I ain't going to do that, right? I have mixed feelings on whether that should come back, but people would be a lot less likely to do things if they knew they'd be publicly shamed. But reprove one who has understanding, and he will gain knowledge. See, some people might learn by that type of public discipline, but reprove one who has understanding. In other words, all you have to do is correct them. Reprove someone who has understanding, and he will gain knowledge. See, again, wisdom is an exponential commodity, if you will. It grows and feeds on itself. The more you have, the more you'll want, but the more you'll also be capable of gaining. It is an exponential commodity. Verse 26, he who assaults his father and drives away his mother is a shameful and disgraceful son. I don't think that one really needs any explanation. If you have gotten to the point where you are lashing out at your parents, you got problems. And parents, I don't remember where else it is. It's not immediately in here because sometimes I do that. I don't remember where else it is, but elsewhere in Proverbs it says, I believe it's Proverbs, it says, fathers, don't stir your sons up to wrath. We'll put the description or the scripture in the graphic here at the bottom of your screen, right? There's a dual relationship there. But bottom line, if you've arrived at that point, you got problems. Verse 27, cease listening, my son, to discipline, and you will stray from the words of knowledge. So even when we have knowledge and wisdom, we still have to accept discipline, the idea of being corrected. Otherwise, we will stray from the words of knowledge. That's a powerful one. I'm not going to spend much time there because I don't need to explain that any further. If we get to the point where we're not willing to accept discipline and correction, we're not going to have that wisdom much longer. All right. Verse 28, a rascally witness makes me think of Bugs Bunny, or Elmer Fudd, you wascally wabbit. A rascally witness makes a mockery of justice. Now, it's not funny, that part. and the mouth of the wicked spreads iniquity. See, someone who is not willing to be straightforward, a straight shooter, as you might say, someone who's not willing to be straightforward and honest, makes a mockery of justice. The mouth of the wicked spreads iniquity. They're spreading lies, and this is obviously not a good thing and not a way to please God. Verse 29, judgments are prepared for scoffers, and blows for the back of fools. So scoffers, that tends to be someone who scoffs at God, is usually the context of that word scoffers. Judgments are prepared for scoffers, people who spurn or don't want to listen to God. And blows for the backs of fools. There will be discipline for fools, as well as the natural consequences of their own sins. Speaking of which, I have a video on just that, so I'll put a link up there. Alright guys, that is it for today. So if you appreciate this video and this ministry as always, please make sure you hit that like button, hit subscribe, turn that bell notification to all so you don't miss any future videos. We'd love to have you as part of our family. And the two best ways to support our ministry, if you'd like to do so, the first is to share this video and make sure that you share it on all of your social media. The second, of course, we would love any financial support that you can give, and there is a link down in the description. Guys, thank you very much, and God bless.